Good morning, students. This is a continuation class for patterning of drugs and regulatory affairs for various system of medicine in India, and which we have to discuss about the case study of Corcom, in which we are going to discuss about how the pattern of US and our India have been competing for patterning the patterning of our turmeric. So that's what we are going to discuss now today. The continuation of the last class. There was some disturbance here, but anyhow I hope you can hear my audio at present. That is a case study of Corcom in patterning. What was the issue which we come across in patterning by US and in India. And you see, turmeric is a tropical herb grown in East India, and even in South India also we have. And turmeric powder has a deep, distinct color and bitter taste, and it is used as dye, cooking ingredient, litmus in chemical test, and for medicinal purposes. A United States patent on turmeric was awarded to the University of Mississippi Medical Center in May 1995, specifically for the use of turmeric in wound healing. 2 years later, a complaint was filed by India's Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, CSIR, is an organization which has many publications and research works. CSIR, they complained about this issue, and CSIR argued that turmeric has been used in India for thousands of years for healing wounds and rashes, and therefore the patent on its medicinal use was not a novel invention by US. The CSIR claim was supported by documentary evidence of traditional knowledge, including ancient Sanskrit text and a paper published in 1953 in the Journal of Indian Medical Association. United States Patent and Trademark Office, USPTO, investigated and validity of the patent. What is that patent? Why we have given, and why the Indian CSIR is complaining? And in 1997, dispute as appeal made by the patent holders, the USPTO upheld the CSIR objection and cancelled the patent due to lack of novelty. So, due to the lack of novelty which is already given to that particular company in US, the European, they have removed that patent because we found that it is having an evidence that India, thousands of years back, they were being used this turmeric for wound healing. So that claim cannot be given. So in your neem also, if you see the neem tree, Asadirata indica, in a tropical green evergreen tree native to India, and is also found in other southeast countries. The seed, bark and the leaf contain compounds with provolone, antiseptic, antiviral, antipyretic, anti-inflammatory, anti-ulcer and antifungal properties. In 1971, US timber importer Robert Harrison observed that the tree's usefulness in India and began importing neem seeds to his company headquarters. So Robert Harrison, he conducted safety and performance test of neem. 3 years later, he sold his invention to US Department of Agriculture and multinational chemical corporation W.R. Grace and Co. company. And in 1992, the W.R. Grace and Co. secured its rights to the formula and used the emulsion from the neem trees seeds to make the powerful fungicide. See, but traditionally we are having this neem tree, neem oil, neem extract, we are using as a fungicide, we are using as a pesticide, we are using in the even rotational plant growth, we have many uses in India. So in applying for the patent, the company had argued that it has used an extract of the tree seed to make the new fungicide, but the Indians claimed that its patent was not sufficiently novel as Indian farmers have used this fungicide for decades. This is what they have claimed. So the Indians, member of the Green Party in the European Union opposed the patent because they believe that the rights of the poor farmers in developing countries will be harmed if it is given to that company. So the neem patent became the first to challenge European and US patent on ground of biopiracy. This biopiracy we have discussed in the last class itself. What is biopiracy? Please note it down. Biopiracy. This is an example for biopiracy. The Indian scientists argued that the Indians have known the medicinal property of neem long back. The European Patent Office EPO accepted the arguments offered by Indian scientists and rejected the order of the US Patent Office to award the patent to W.R. Grace and Company. So the victory is a result of 4 years long, there is a small topographic error, long effort by the Research Foundation for Science, Technology and Environment. So it has to be necessary for us to know about this case study of neem. Important how it was giving a chance for the poor farmers. Otherwise the poor farmers have to pay for using the neem. To the W.R. Grace, according to the international community, if they give patent, they will climb. So you see, it's bold enough, and we have the right to ask for that. Then regulatory issues for herbal drug regulation in India. We are going to have a discussion about this. Provisions related to the manufacturers and control of Ayurvedic, Siddha and Unani drugs being prescribed in the Drugs and Cosmetic Act. This act describes the formation of Drug Technical Advisory Board, DTAB. It's a very big board which comes under pharmacy, which consists of various nominated members of Drug Consultative Committee, DCC, DTAB, DCC. These two organizations you might have studied in your forensic pharmacy and jurisprudence, you might have studied. And now we are discussing about the Ayurveda, Siddha and Unani, ASU, Drug Technical Advisory Board, ASU-DTAB. The central government shall constitute a board by notifying in the official gazette. The board shall advise the central as well as the state governments on technical matters arising out of the session. 33C of the Drug and Cosmetic Act and carry other functions assigned to it by this chapter. In the law, in the gazette, official gazette issued by the central government, a constitution of the board. The board shall consist of the following members. Who are they? The Director General of Health Service, ex officio member he is, and the Drug Controller of India, ex officio member, and the Director of Central Drug Laboratory, Calcutta, is also ex officio member. One government analyst nominated by Central Board, one pharmacogenicist nominated by Central Government, one phytochemist nominated by Central Government, 4 persons nominated by Central Government, among which 2 from the member of Ayurvedic Pharmacopoeia Committee and 1 each from Unani and Siddha Pharmacopoeia Committee. 1 teacher in Dravya, that means Dravya Guna, that means herbal plant study teacher, and Baisijya or Baisijya Kalpana, that is also a study of in Ayurveda about the formulations, pharmaceutics of Ayurvedic pharmaceutics, to be nominated by the central government, 2 teachers. And 1 teacher from Imul Advya. Imul Advya means it is pharmacology study in Unani, and Taclis Davasi, that means the therapeutic effect of various Unani drugs study, to be nominated by central government, a teacher from Unani. And one teacher is from Gunapadam. Gunapadam to nominated by central government from Siddha. All the therapeutic effect of the herbal drugs which is used in Siddha, Gunapadam. What is the gunam of effects? What is the therapeutic effect of the formulations in Siddha? The teacher is also a member. And 3% of one each represent in Ayurveda, Siddha and Unani drugs industry to be nominated by central government. And 3% one each from among the practitioners who is practicing of Ayurveda, Siddha and Unani. 3 system of medicine to be nominated by central government. Function of this board: the central government shall appoint a chairman from among its members. The nominated members of the board shall hold office for 3 years, but they shall be eligible for reunion or renomination is also possible. The board may make the law to regulate its functioning and conduct of all activities. The central government shall appoint a secretary of the board and shall provide the board with such clerical and other staff. This is also central government take the authority. The Ayurveda and Siddha and Unani drugs Consultative Committee, ASUDCC, Drug Consultative Committee. The central government may constitute an advisory committee as mentioned in the section 33D of Drug and Cosmetic Act. This committee may advise the central and the state governments and the Ayurvedic, Siddha and Unani Drugs Technical Advisory Board, ASUDTAB, on any matter for the purpose of securing uniformity in administration of this Act, Section 33D, throughout India. The constitution of and function of ASUDCC are: the ASUDCC, that means Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani Drug Consultative Committee, shall consist of 2 persons nominated by central government, 1 person from state government who acts as representative for respective governments. The Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani Drugs Consultative Committee shall meet when required to do so by the central government and shall regulate its own activities as per their requirements. Regulations for the manufacture of Ayurvedic, Siddha and Unani drugs. The Section 33 EEB of the Drugs and Cosmetic Act describes the regulation for the manufacture and sales of Ayurveda, Siddha and Unani drugs. The Act has set some standards related to hygienic conditions, factory premises, prohibition of manufacture and the sale of certain drugs, and the penalties for contravention of this Act, going away from this Act. The following requirements are taken into an account. A. Requirements of factory premises and hygienic conditions. As per the Act, it is mandatory to maintain proper hygienic conditions in the factory premises, that means inside, along with the following requirements. What are they? Factory or industry involved in manufacturing of Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani drugs should not be situated adjacent to open sewage, drainage, public lavatory or any other factory which produces obnoxious odor and large quantity of waste, dust or smoke. These all things should not be near to the premises or near to the manufacturing unit of Ayurveda, Siddha and Unani. And next one is the premises of manufacture. Unit shall be clean, hygienic and free from insects, rodents and other contaminations. Insects, the spelling sex they are written. Insects, rodents and other contaminations. These all are very important aspects they have to follow. And the walls and the floor of the manufacturing room should be smooth, easily cleanable with water and should not accumulate dust or waste products. The water used in the manufacture shall be pure and drinking quality. It should be free from pathogenic organisms. Adequate facility should be provided to process and containers and closures for washing, cleaning, drying, etc. And it should be separated from the manufacturing unit. Suitable arrangements shall be provided for disposing waste water and other materials in a manner that it does not affect the health of the people in surrounding area of that manufacturing unit. Personnel working in factory should be free from contagious diseases. Workers should be free from contagious diseases. Appropriate dress should be provided to the workers based on the nature of their work. Adequate facilities for personal cleanliness such as soap, towel and antiseptic should be provided for the workers. Facilities for drinking water, separate washing rooms should be provided for men and women. So this was small topic which we are discussed today, which is continuation to the patent drugs, and which I have taken for you to give a short lecture. You have to just revise what we have discussed before and you have to continue it. That means when I started with the turmeric and the neem, they are already patent we have discussed, and from the patent we have just come across that too. And then we discussed about our Ayurveda, Siddha and Unani drugs, how it comes under the Drug and Cosmetic Act and how the manufacturers are coming under the control of Drug and Cosmetic Act, and what is the role of pharmacist over there, and what is the pharmacovigilance is also having the duty, the vigilance work, and what is the parameters which we have studied in your pharmaco that means the jurisprudence and forensic pharmacy also comes into play for the regulatory affairs. And you see, prohibition of manufacture and sales of certain Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani drugs. The Act prescribes some criteria to prohibit the manufacture and sale of certain Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani drugs, which are not manufactured or sold in accordance of the rules. The following categories of Ayurveda, Siddha and Unani drugs can be prohibited from manufacture and sale. If it is not accordance with the rules and regulation of the Drug and Cosmetic Act 33D, and any misbranded, adulterated or spurious Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani drugs, any proprietary or patent medicine which does not display the list of all ingredients on the herbal label, on the label of the container, it will be punishable. Selling, stocking and distribution of Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani drug which has been manufactured in contravention of the provision which is given in the Act should be avoided. And the manufacture, sale, distribution of any Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani drugs of which license have not been issued by the prescribed authority is also punishable, and also it is against of the rule, and this will be prohibited, and it will be prohibited because it is against of the rule. The above rules do not apply to Vaidyas and Hakims. Vaidyas, Hakims, they have indigenous idea which is they are given traditionally, they are using, they prepare Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani drugs for the use of their own patients. For their little patients, it's not having any restriction. And the above rules do not apply for Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani drugs which are manufactured in small quantities for the purpose of examination, testing and analysis. There is no restriction. Power of the central government to prohibit the manufacture, sale and distribution of Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani drugs in public interest. They can prohibit, they can stop and they can punish also. Section 33 EED of the Drug and Cosmetic Act prescribes certain power of central government based on which the government can prohibit the manufacture, sale and distribution of Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani drugs, which involves any risk to the humans or animals, or such drugs does not have any therapeutic value as claimed by the manufacturer. Simply manufacturer are telling, but if it is claimed there is no effect. And any misbranded or spurious drugs, spurious drugs, hence in such circumstance the government may prohibit the manufacturer, sale and the drugs of the public interest will be stopped, and it is punishable. So what is the penalty for the manufacture and sales distribution which is prohibited by Ayurveda, Siddha and Unani drugs? As prescribed above the section 33(1) of the Drugs and Cosmetic Act, any person himself or on his behalf is engaged in the manufacture or sale or distribution of prohibited Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani drugs, penalty have been fixed as per the following guidelines. Any Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani drug which is deemed to be adulterated or manufactured without a valid license shall be punishable up to 1 year imprisonment and with fine up to 2,000 rupees. Any Ayurveda Siddha drug which is deemed to be spurious shall be punishable with imprisonment up to 1 to 3 years and with fine up to 5,000 rupees. Any Ayurveda Siddha Unani drug which contravenes any other provision of the act shall be punishable with imprisonment up to 3 months and with a fine of 500 rupees. Finally, the manufacturers are more than one set of premises. If Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani drugs are manufactured one or more than one set of premises, if a separate application shall be made and a separate license shall be obtained for each premises. Understand? So if suppose 2-3 manufacturers together, clubbing is not possible. If you want separate license, individual product also now you need to take license. You have to mention what product, you have to mention what label, claim, what is the therapeutic claim you are making. All these details have to be given. Thank you for being with me and to listen to this short lecture regarding the regulations for Ayurveda, Siddha and Unani drugs. We have given a simple details and which can be read and you can have a knowledge about that. If you have some time, you can just listen and also you can extrapolate or you can add some points by means of your references. Thank you. Have a great day.